Immediately, I used a granite rock as big as this to smash that loner zombie bastard right here. That guy was shedding tears of blood. I don't know if it's pain or injury. He punched me back. I dodged to the side, then kicked him straight in the face. He dodged it. Just as my old strength waned and before new strength emerged, my other foot was caught by him. I could only cry out, "Loose Row, otherwise I will die." The next second, loner zombie threw me heavily to the ground like throwing a broken sack. Suddenly, bang bang, 2 bullets shot towards loner zombie like lightning. 2 bullets hit loner zombie's temple in succession. No matter how hard his skull is, he couldn't stop 2 bullets. At this moment, I endured the pain and gave him the final blow. The situation is finally over, I asked Lucas Gao. He shoots so accurately. Is it his new ability after evolution? He doesn't say much. He picked up a rock. Let me see a distant fallen leaf. The next second, he shot the gun. The leaves were accurately and precisely hit into the tree trunk by the stone. Lucas Gao then put on a smug expression. In his eyes, the whole world seemed to be moving in slow motion. Seeing Lucas Gao's appearance, I carved a number on a tree that was exceptionally far away. But for Lucas Gao now, he can easily see all the numbers clearly. The direction of Lucas Gao's evolution is very special and rare. It should be a branch of the spiritual evolver. As long as you are familiar with this feeling, you may become an outstanding sniper in the future. Lucas Gao also sighed and said, "I finally don't have to drag you down anymore." He replied, "What should I say? What relationship do we have?" He said, "Jack, from now on, wherever you go, I'll follow." Under the sunset, the 2 fist bumped. The bond between men became even stronger. Now turn your gaze to Kelly not far away. At this moment, the evolved tattoo behind her rapidly came together. Suddenly, she opened her bright eyes. She made a strange cry. Lucas Gao and I immediately rushed over. This was because Kelly was too impatient. She wanted to evolve the complete evolved tattoo and turn into a zombie prematurely. There was no other choice but to do this. I raised my hand high. The next second, I slapped Kelly in the face with my palm. Kelly shouted, "Are you crazy? Why did you hit me?" It's just that her target is not me, but Lucas Gao. Even if Lucas Gao explains repeatedly, it is of no use. I pretended to be a passerby on the side, watching everything, waiting for Lucas Gao to be beaten by Kelly and covered in wounds. I slowly said, "You were practicing too aggressively just now. If I hadn't intervened in time, you would have turned into a zombie." Kelly said, "I'll spare you this time for Jack's sake." Lucas Gao had nothing to say in his defense. I said, "Let's go to the gas station to rest for the night. We'll leave early tomorrow morning." In the car, Lucas Gao remembered his childhood. He was often bullied by his classmates in school because of his short stature, and no one around him believed him. Only his mother always believed that Lucas Gao was a good kid filled with a sense of justice. After arriving at City G, under the guidance of Lucas Gao, we quickly found his residence under his guidance. Look at Lucas Gao. I remember. There must be zombies here. No matter what happens, everyone listens to my commands. Speak quietly and don't alert the hidden zombies. Enter the building. The scene in front of me is like a battlefield. However, the wounds on the bodies are not from zombie bites. It looks more like wounds caused by weapons. And the wounds are all very fresh. That group of people should have left not long ago. When Lucas Gao saw that I didn't leave, he asked me what happened. After he saw the scene in front of him, he immediately ran upstairs. No matter how I called him, he didn't show any intention of stopping. Kelly and I chased to the floor where Lucas Gao lived. Then we heard Lucas Gao's heartbreaking roar. When we arrived in front of him, the gunshots had already started. At that moment, he was raising the gun and shooting wildly into the bathroom. This might be fate. When heaven gives you something, it will take away something else from you. After going crazy, people will fall into endless despair. Lucas Gao, who had run out of bullets, was now unable to resist and knelt down on the ground. He couldn't believe what was happening before his eyes. I hurried forward to inquire what was wrong. Glanced towards the bathroom. Tied up and hanging there, while Lucas Gao also cried out, "Mom," almost inaudibly. Kelly and I were stunned when we saw this. I saw the zombie shot by Lucas Gao beside Lucas's mother. This seems to be a man-made tragedy. I could only sigh softly. In an apocalypse, human nature is magnified. The wicked become more evil. Encountering someone who doesn't want to kill you is already considered good, Kelly said angrily. He's such a scumbag. Who did it? At this moment, Lucas Gao slowly stood up, walked to the bed, and reached out to touch the tortured face. The body slowly opened its eyes. In a critical moment, I threw myself to tackle Lucas Gao. Lucas's mother no longer recognizes her beloved child in front of her, because she has turned into a zombie. Lucas watches as his gentle mother approaches him with arms outstretched. Unable to bear it any longer, Lucas Gao immediately decides to seek revenge. I said, "Stop, Lucas Gao. I told you to stop, do you hear me?" Next, a gunshot rang out. Bring the possessed Lucas Gao back to reality. I said to him, "Where are you going to find those bastards?" He said, "I'm going to kill them one by one." I said, "Do you know who did it? How many people are they, and how many guns do they have? Where are they? Do you know?" I know you are feeling uncomfortable, wanting to vent, but impulse won't solve the problem. The first thing we need to do now. The first thing is to let her rest in peace first. Wanting to vent, but impulse won't solve the problem. After Lucas buried his mother with his own hands, I watched Lucas Gao weeping helplessly. He slowly said, "Your father might still be alive." It wasn't until he came to his senses that he realized he hadn't just seen his father. Logically speaking, if his father were present, he wouldn't have witnessed his mother dying so tragically. Kelly asked, "Do you have any enemies at home?" Lucas Gao seemed to remember something. The scene shifted to an abandoned factory. With a thud, a man was thrown to the ground. It was Lucas Gao's father, Vader Gao. He gritted his teeth and looked up. "It's my archenemy Steve Steves," he said. "Vader Gao, I didn't expect to see you like this today." Driven by the desire for revenge for his murdered wife, Vader Gao desperately rushed towards Steve. However, Vader Gao was a wealthy businessman. He is now only half the man he used to be. Even at the peak of his power, he was no match for this underworld figure. At Steve's command, he said to take him down and torture him well. It turns out that this person did everything, including tying up Lucas Gao's mother and letting her be bitten to death by a zombie in front of Lucas' father. Return to our side. Currently driving and searching for Steve's whereabouts. I asked who Steve is. Lucas said, "He is a formidable rival in my father's business, operating in both legal and illegal circles." Steve was reported by one of my father's subordinates for selling counterfeit cigarettes and alcohol. He has been sent to prison. Therefore, he holds a grudge against my father. I continue to say that Steve did not take any food or water with him. Furthermore, his methods were cruel. He clearly came for revenge. Are you sure your family only has him as an enemy? Lucas said, "My parents rarely offend others. Apart from this Steve, there is no one else." Then I stared fiercely and said, "Give me the map!" To avenge Lucas for killing his mother and tying his father's hatred. We opened the map and started to study it. The disaster broke out less than 2 weeks ago. The whole city G within a short period of time. Only these 3 places can be used as strongholds. They are Sam's base in the east of the city, the dam in the central area, and the flour factory in the west of the city. Lucas Gao asked with a fierce look. Where will Steve go? I replied. I don't know, we can only try one place at a time. I asked where the tallest building nearby is, with Lucas Gao leading the way. We arrived at the tallest building in City G. At this moment, Lucas Gao's angry flames had nowhere to vent. The zombie inside the building naturally became his target for venting. Kelly is just worried that Lucas Gao is not in the right state. I said this is inevitable. Let him vent a little, it can be a practical exercise. We arrived at the rooftop. The view here is wide open all around. Except for that dam, the other 2 points are visible. Lucas Gao couldn't wait to take out his single-barrel telescope to check. He found it right away. It's at the flour factory in the west of this city. It can only be said that Steve and his gang are too reckless here, killing, stealing cars, and boldly parking the car at the factory entrance. And this car belongs to Lucas Gao's family. Maybe Steve and the others wouldn't have expected it. There are still people here thinking about dealing with them. However, the opponent's stronghold has already been fortified. Lucas Gao is consumed by hatred. He said he would seek revenge even if it cost him his life. I then said to him, if you want revenge, you need to calm down first. At this moment, Kelly also discovered an airdrop of supplies. 1 week after the virus outbreak, many countries began to implement support measures. Among them, we are one of the first countries to distribute airdrop packages. After opening it, everything from canned food to bullets was complete. What surprised me the most was, there is a Type 56 rifle with a specially equipped scope. With this, Lucas Gao's abilities can be maximized. However, Lucas Gao is reluctant to shoot outdoors. He wants to personally take revenge on his enemies. All I can do is comfort him. You are my brother. Your enemies are my enemies. Use the gun in your hand well. It can help you avenge. Jack said, I understand. Night arrived. The 3 of us sneaked up to the entrance of the flour mill. Lucas Gao's new ability also includes night vision. There are 3 people standing guard at the entrance. All 3 of them are holding Type 56 rifles. These people are holding weapons distributed by the national government. It's not zombies they are dealing with. It's ordinary civilians. How would the national government react when they find out? At this point, Kelly said, they have so many guns. Let's discuss the tactics. This kind of person should be dealt with in the most hateful way possible. Kelly, when you evolve to first phrase, you will understand. Dealing with these gangsters doesn't require tactics at all. Just when the 3 guards were yawning, I appeared in front of them. They randomly turned on the searchlight. They shouted, it's a living person. Stop, or we will shoot. Seeing that I didn't stop and continued forward, the sidekicks wanted to shoot me. The next second, I was shot in the head by Lucas Gao from a distance. I also leaped forward, rolled and jumped onto the platform. Sidekicks immediately swung their gun, butts towards me. I caught each of them by grabbing their clothes with one hand, knocked them together. After handing over the captured firearms to Lucas Gao, let him handle the people who rush out upon hearing gunshots for a moment. Make some noise and attract attention. I will launch a sneak attack. Lucas Gao replied firmly. Kill one when one comes. Lucas Gao's mother was cruelly murdered. Our group found the whereabouts of the culprit Steve and dealt with the 3 guards. At this moment, Steve is still enjoying his prostitutes. Suddenly, a psychic rushes into the room. Steve is in trouble. Someone is banging on our front door. Steve didn't even care about the woman lying on him. Who is it? Is it that kid Sam Lin? Psychic said he didn't know. It seems to be a crazy hitter. 4 of us have been killed by him. Steve said to quickly call for help. I'm on my way. I'll be at the factory gates soon. At this moment, 6 sidekicks are hiding behind the door, afraid to show themselves. The bald guy called out to another guy with yellow hair to go out and take a look. When he saw that the other guy was a sniper, the yellow-haired guy naturally refused. The bald guy left behind a sentence. "Coward! I don't believe he's that good." This sentence became his last words. In the factory, Steve is watching all of this with binoculars. He asked his subordinate how many people had actually come. The psychic said he didn't know. Then Steve landed a heavy blow. He yelled, "You are completely useless. Keep charging forward." Under Steve's pressure, the psychics could only grit their teeth and charge forward. Lucas Gall saw many people coming. They could only withdraw with Kelly first. Another man spotted them. Someone ran towards the shopping mall, quickly followed by others. A figure appeared under the moonlight and eavesdropped on the conversation between the two psychics. They said that they heard gunshots from the main gate just now. It is estimated that Sam Lin's group is causing trouble again. These police officers are always trying to arrest all of us. I heard that Steve brought Vader Gao in. Okay, the information is very well informed. The next second, I will appear between the two psychics. I pushed hard against the vertebrae of the two of them. I felt threatened. I know this knife will go in. You guys must be in a vegetative state. I looked at one of them. No, I said, you go first. He was so scared that his whole body was trembling. He said no. I said, then answer me 3 questions. 1. Is Vader Gao alive? 2. Where is he? 3. Who is Sam Lin? Psychic trembled and answered. I said Vader Gao is still alive. He is locked in the factory. He then pointed to a place. I asked, what about Sam Lin? Who is he? He said, he is from the city police station. He led the group of police officers to establish a base at Sam's base, stating that they were going to rebuild civilization or something like that. Sam Lin? I'd never heard of this person before reborn. Then he said he took care of those two. Arrived at the factory where Vader Gao is being held. I always feel that something is strange here. Avoid the patrol of the other 2 psychics. Also knows that Vader Gao seemed to have been tortured by Steve with some ruthless move. There are indeed problems with this place. I sensed it, and found that there are zombies inside. Vader Gao was terrified and stuck on a step, not daring to move. On the other side, there is a crowd of people in front of the entrance to the mall. No one dares to enter first. The Konoha man wants to impress Steve. He shouts at the crowd. What are you afraid of? Let's go together. He alone can't defeat all of us. So he leads everyone forward. Before they could assess the situation in the market, the psychic next to the Konoha man was shot in the head. At the same time, everyone also discovered Lucas Gao's location. They started attacking Lucas. However, it was in vain as Lucas Gao kept changing his location after each shot. This angered Steve outside, who called for more people. At this moment, a psychic rushed towards Steve and shouted, something's not right. The brother guarding the factory has died. Lucas Gao's mother was brutally murdered. To rescue his trapped father, we have started the siege on Steve's stronghold. I have arrived at the factory where Vader is imprisoned. I smash the glass roof with my bare hands and shout, Vader, are you okay? I'm Jaxua, Lucas Gao's classmate. He is now tortured to the point of being confused and disoriented. If you in front of the screen can subscribe to my channel, Vader will recover faster. I said, this is trouble now. I have to lower the rope to pull him up. I landed on a platform. However, it's just a metal plate suspended by 4 iron chains. I grabbed the iron chains to steady the sway, then reached out to Vader Gao saying, Vader Gao, I am here to rescue you. He, on the verge of mental collapse, was scared into repeatedly stepping back. Seeing that he was about to fall, I could only resort to violent means to subdue him first. He has been tortured to the point of some mental disorder. In a place like this, ordinary people are driven crazy. When I returned to the rooftop, there came footsteps behind me. Steve brought people back to the room quite quickly. He said he almost saved the person right under my nose. I said you must be Steve. I was just worrying about not being able to find you. Steve's psychic heard this. Take off your clothes and get ready to come up and deal with me, he said. I'm telling you, killing is not illegal now. The next second, I threw him out. Steve was shocked. I said, You're right, murder is not a crime now. Then I drew out 2 knives. Steve shouted, What are you standing around for? Shoot! I charged into the battlefield. A quick body slash. 3 psychics fell to the ground. In front of these ordinary people, I am like a war god. Bullets seem to avoid me on purpose. Not a single one can touch me. Steve's subordinates are gradually decreasing. Steve feels uneasy. He knows he has provoked someone he can't afford to provoke. He wonders who exactly this kid is. On the other side of the market, the newly added pair of psychics also felt secretly alarmed. The market was too quiet. The previous team won't be completely wiped out, right? Little did they know that guns were aiming at them. Just as Lucas Gao was about to shoot, he saw a man with red cloth, wearing his father's watch on his hand. Lucas realized that he was responsible for his mother's situation. Lucas Gao shouted, wanting to inquire about the whereabouts of his father. I'm here. Man with red cloth said, So it's you. It turns out it's Vader Gao's foolish son. Kelly, seeing this, advised not to get upset. He is trying to provoke you on purpose. Lucas said that the enemy who killed his mother might be this person. Lucas Gao looks angry on the outside, but inside, he is incredibly calm. Lucas said, Did you have a hand in my family affairs? Man with red cloth said, It's great that you saw that. Your mother was tied up by me there, and she was bitten to death by the zombie. After hearing that, Lucas Gao was surrounded by a red light. He said Kelly should find a place to hide, and then leap down. In an instant, he smashed the heads of 2 psychics. Seeing this, the remaining psychics also started shooting wildly. However, the bullets seemed to move as slow as snails in Lucas Gao's eyes. He dodged all the bullets aimed at him with just a slight lean to the side. Man with red cloth was so scared that he exclaimed, Is this still a human? The next second, the sound of a gunshot brought him back to reality. At this moment, he was already isolated and helpless. He has also lost his gun. He could only say to Lucas Gao, Spare my life. Lucas Gao's mother was cruelly murdered. Faced with the overwhelming number of people, Steve, we are not afraid at all. Only here for revenge. At this point, Steve is already a lone wolf. I've tied him up like a dead dog with a rope. He doesn't know what I'm going to do to him. He said he has a lot of food. Let me go, and I'll give you everything I have. But I completely pretended not to hear. Bring him to the hell created by yourself. Faced with the zombie herd below, he panicked. He said, The key to the food warehouse is in the drawer in the basement. Don't send me down there. I'm not interested in your food. I'm here to avenge Lucas Gao. Think about how Lucas Gao's mother died. Immediately pushed him down with one hand. Steve could only scream helplessly as he saw the zombie herd getting closer and closer. Don't come over. After I deal with Steve, I should go find Lucas Gao now. He is at the mall. Man with red cloth was beaten by Lucas Gao to the point of being unable to take care of himself. At this moment, Lucas Gao is shirtless. Evolved tattoo surfaces on his waist. He asked who else had gone to my house. Man with red cloth said almost everyone you killed. Lucas said that means only you are left. Man with red cloth is still desperately begging for mercy, just as Lucas Gao is about to kill him. The evolved tattoo fades, and his body is overcome by a strong sense of weakness. The man with red cloth immediately ran away upon seeing the situation. Lucas Gao said to Kelly, Don't worry about me, I'll go kill him. Kelly replied coldly, You hold on. I'll be right back. She then grabbed a gun and went after him. Watching Kelly's back, Lucas Gao also weakly fainted. But Kelly doesn't have the ability like Lucas Gao. Shooting only hits some insignificant places. The man with the red cloth turned into an alley. Just as he was about to escape, I heard gunshots and rushed over. I happened to run into a man with a red cloth fleeing. I took care of him on the spot. Kelly asked Jack if this was Uncle Vader Gao. I said yes, but who is this person? Kelly said the person who was at Lucas Gao's house was him. Immediately my eyes turned cold. At this moment, Vader Gao woke up behind me. I immediately broke free, curled up holding my thigh on one side. There's no other way. Who can bear such stimulation? Just let him recover slowly. Within my 5-meter sense range, the man with the red cloth moved his fingertips slightly. Just when I wanted to kill him, Vader Gao erupted. Because he saw the face of someone who had done evil in his home before. He rushed up and grabbed the man with red cloth, then gave him a good beating. Just how he vented out his anger. Lucas' mother is unlikely to return either. Kelly and I can only wait silently. Wait for Vader Gao to finish venting. Kelly said it seems he remembered something. I said we should go find Lucas Gao to meet up. To avenge the death of his mother, we killed Steve and his group. 3 days later, early in the morning, Lucas Gao slowly opened his eyes. He has been unconscious for 3 days. Lucas Gao's movements also woke up Vader Gao. When he saw his son wake up, Vader Gao was especially happy, thinking he would lose both his wife and son at the same time. At this moment, Kelly also came in with food. Lucas Gao asked while eating, "Where is this? Is it a hotel? We've moved in." The food was also found in the kitchen. I followed in Kelly's footsteps. Concerned, reproached Lucas. "You are still too impulsive. Didn't I tell you before?" Lucas said, "Ebola should not be brought up unless absolutely necessary." I couldn't help but know that the guy who killed my mom was in that area. I said, "Forget it. Luckily you have been practicing breathing training. Your resistance to viruses can keep up." By the way, I have never asked you where your evolved tattoo is. Lucas Gao immediately blushed and mumbled. After repeated questioning from me, he only mentioned that it is in his underwear. Suddenly Kelly and I couldn't say anything. The next second, we all think Lucas is too eccentric. We laughed until tears rolled down, but Lucas Gao yelled loudly and said not to laugh. I said it's the first time I've seen this situation, so I'll wait for you to fully recover before I help you check again. Lucas said he didn't need my help to check. At this time, Vader Gao, looking very troubled, said, "Lucas Gao, you guys talk first. I'm going back to my room to rest." Just before he left, looking back at the 3 people who were laughing and playing, Vader Gao seemed to have made up his mind about something. Soon after, I led Kelly and Lucas Gao to practice breathing training. It should be almost done after they complete it once. Kelly's physical fitness is close to the first phase. It's just that her mutant ability hasn't been activated yet. Lucas Gao needs to further strengthen his resistance to the virus. And I should be close to the second phase soon. If I break through to the second phase, rookie gangsters like Steve won't be able to match me even if there are twice as many of them. At this moment, Lucas Gao asked apologetically, "Can this breathing training be taught to my dad, Jack?" I said, "Of course it can." If you hadn't fainted, I would have taught breathing training to Vader Gao long ago. Then the 3 of them went to find Vader Gao with joy. After knocking on Lucas Gao's door for a long time with no response, I felt uneasy in my heart. So I pushed open the door with one foot. The scene that appeared before our eyes left us all in shock. The body of Vader Gao was hanging from the ceiling beam. Lucas Gao saw this scene. Could only call out, "Dad," dumbfoundedly. The next moment, when he came to his senses, he cried loudly. Kelly also found the suicide note on the table. "Child, when you read this letter, I should have already left this world. The world is changing too fast for me to adapt quickly. Perhaps I was supposed to die under the teeth of a zombie or the weapons of a robber. I would not have survived until today if it weren't for you saving me. Before you arrived, I witnessed too much bloodshed, brutality, and death. Now you have gained powerful strength. A trustworthy friend. Dad is very pleased. This pocket watch is Dad's precious collection. It is also the love token between me and your mom. Keep it as a memento and live on with it. Lucas Gao, cherish your friends well. Dad won't hold you back when I get old. Remember to stay strong and live on. After burying Vader Gao, Lucas Gao's belief in living on also begins to waver. He asks Jack, what has happened to this world? Murder, betrayal, cruelty, and constant danger. Are we going to keep living in such a world? I say, I don't know the world has changed like this. I am powerless to change it, and I don't know how to change it either. Some people choose to live in peace by submitting to fate. Some choose to fight against fate. I just want to live on with you all, because only by living there is hope. Lucas Gao keeps repeating these two words, alive, and hope. I casually picked up a cigarette and handed it to him. This is Lucas Gao's first time smoking. The longer life, the more bitter in the heart. I used to think teenagers were very bitter. It wasn't until I became an adult that I realized the two kinds of bitterness are not the same. Kelly said, Jack, give me one to smoke too. But I didn't give it to her. After the incident at Lucas Gao's house. During that month, Lucas Gao and Kelly kept engaging in practical training. Both of them have made rapid progress in their abilities. Lucas Gao has completely mastered his powers, while Kelly's speed is still above mine. I found that these days, there are always people stealing things from Steve's factory. We have rested enough. It's time to set off. The supplies in City G are insufficient. We cannot stay for long. And I still need to go find Abby. Kelly curiously asked, Where can we find her? Tell me about your previous experiences in life. She will definitely go to City Chu in 2 months. That is where we first met. When they heard it was City Chu, both Lucas Gao and Kelly were shocked. They asked, Isn't that the human hell with 9.6 million zombies? I said, Before going there, each of us must reach the second phase and gather enough supplies and ammunition. Sam Lin also received the news that Steve's team was wiped out. Sam Lin said that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Then he instructed Cindy to arrange manpower to transport the materials to Steve's place. The manpower arranged by Cindy was a few college students they had just hired along the way in the past. This group of arrogant college students is complaining about being asked to do manual labor. Some of them have received offers from big companies. Some are preparing to study abroad for their master's degree. But then the apocalypse broke out. All these plans can no longer be realized. Only one girl is relatively kind. She is well aware of the principle of contributing every effort she can. But she was mocked by others. After a while, they arrived at the flour factory. The door was open. When they went in, they saw the three of us moving supplies. They didn't expect someone to come and steal the supplies so quickly. This is when two groups of people meet face to face. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Kelly asked me what to do next. You guys continue to move, I will handle it. The man with the glasses suddenly became anxious and said, Hold on, you are not allowed to move. The items in this warehouse were discovered by us first. I immediately said, Joke. We are almost finished moving. You tell me that you discovered it first. The man with glasses was suddenly speechless. He said, Anyway, we were the first to discover this place. Upon hearing this, my expression turned cold. I replied, Are you suggesting that you want to monopolize everything here? At this moment, the kind girl spoke up to ease the tension. There were only 3 of them and a child, which seemed quite pitiful. The man with glasses said, Who will pity me then? If not for this virus, I should be studying abroad now. She didn't pay much attention to the man with glasses. The girl suggested that we join the base. It's better to have more people in the base to take care of each other. I said, no need, you can move your things, and we'll take ours. The man with the glasses seemed to have more people on his side. He wanted to force us to hand over our belongings. He was stopped by a girl. Under the persuasion of the crowd, he had no choice but to agree. Lucas Gao and Kelly looked disdainful. The man with glasses was fuming and sulking. At the same time, he also discovered the factory where Vader Gao had been detained before. He thought this was a newly established warehouse. Meanwhile, inside Sam's base, the scout Evan Su, who was sent out, has just returned. He ran in a hurry to Sam Lin and said, Sam, you didn't send anyone to Steve's flour factory, right? Sam said, I asked those new college students to go move the supplies. Evans is in trouble. Steve has been raising zombies in the factory, and the whole factory is filled with them. Sam said, hurry and call Cindy over. Lucas Gao also found a cigarette. It's enough to smoke for a while. When we were about to get in the car to leave, the girl came again to persuade us to join the base. After failing to persuade us, she gave me her spare gun again. There are such people in the apocalypse. I am also very happy. I said to Lucas Gao, give them more medical supplies, the base needs them. Just as we were about to leave in our car, Kelly discovered that the man with glasses was picking the lock in the factory. I was instantly scared. I asked Kelly which factory building's lock he was picking. She said it was the factory building that we saw when we came out from the main entrance. Lucas Gao asked what happened, while Kelly was excitedly asking if there was anything good. How about we go back and take a look? At this moment, I looked at the gun in my hand and thought of the kind girl I had just met. I made up my mind to get off the car and go back to save her. In front of the factory, the man with glasses used a handgun to open the door lock. He walked into the factory and was immediately greeted by a foul smell. He didn't know that danger was approaching. The next second, a rotten hand reached out from the darkness and grabbed his leg. Then he felt a biting sensation in his brain. After seeing what was on the ground clearly, he screamed for help. At this time, they were running ahead, with countless zombies chasing after them from behind. Upon seeing this, everyone ran away one after another. In their panic, they ended up running into a dead end. They could only pick up weapons and start fighting. Man with glass asked the woman, where is your gun? She said she gave it to those three guys just now. The man with the glass is very unhappy. What they don't know is that it was this kind act of the girl that saved them. There are simply too many zombies. Casualties have occurred at this point. Just as a zombie lunged at the girl, with a loud bang, a gunshot rang out. The zombie slowly fell to the ground. The girl couldn't believe that someone would come to rescue them at this moment. She saw that it was the same three people from earlier. Lucas Gao and Kelly had been practicing all month and had never experienced real combat. At this moment, they finally had the opportunity to test their improved strength. They shouted excitedly. After a burst of attacks from them, the zombies in front fell down in droves. At this point, I also said, enough, bullets are limited. Let's switch to melee weapons. After a while, the zombie herd was cleaned up. The crowd stared in astonishment as they watched our performance. While Kelly and Lucas Gao were performing, I stepped forward to greet the girl and asked if she was okay. I also returned the gun to her. Just got robbed by the man with glass. He also wanted the girl to persuade us to join the base again. But I have zero interest in this person's proposal. At this moment, the hamster also made a squeaking noise at the man with glasses. The hamster has also evolved. It has a special sensitivity to viruses. I raised the crowbar and asked the man with glasses, have you been bitten by a zombie? He still refuses to admit it. Seeing me approaching him slowly, he even fired a gun at me. Then he ran towards the gate with all his might. Me and Lucas Gao also felt that something was approaching the gate. The man with the glass ran towards the direction to escape, and the outcome can be imagined. As expected, in no time, the scream of the man with the glass could be heard. Looking back, the zombie is dragging the corpse of the man with the glass towards us. It is the second phrase zombie. This second phrase zombie is really pitiful. It has become the practice target of Lucas Gao and Kelly. At this moment, the zombie is roaring loudly at us. Scared, everyone started running away. I also had the girls follow them. Kind-hearted, she also said, "You guys hold on. I'll go find someone to help." Little did we know that we don't need to worry about this kind of zombie at all. The next second, I struck the zombie hard. This second phrase zombie couldn't stand up anymore. Next, it's up to Lucas Gao and Kelly. I said no guns allowed in a 2-on-1 fight. I'm here to help. Feel free to ask any questions or provide more text for translation. The two men were emitting black mist all over their bodies, like hunters spotting their prey. On the other side, the girl didn't run far. They met Cindy, who came to provide support head-on. Cindy asked the girl about the situation. The girl said the three who saved them are very powerful. They wiped out a large group of zombies. Only later did a monster appear that needed more than a dozen of you surrounding it to take down. Afraid they can't hold on, hurry to save them. Cindy and her group arrived at the entrance of the flour mill. They all didn't dare to let their guard down. Maintain the formation and enter. Just where the monsters appeared moments ago. Now it's quiet without a sound. Have they been killed? Cindy rushed out immediately, only to see the monster lying there and us gathered around it, conducting a post-match analysis. Lucas Gao, you're not a melee fighter. Why charge ahead along with Kelly? Lucas said, I just want to appear a bit more manly. Kelly, who was chuckling on the side, was also warned by me not to be so reckless in the future. She said, I just wanted to give it a try, that's all. I said, anyway, I am very dissatisfied with the results of this real-life exercise. If it weren't for me helping you by taking a stab, the two of you might have been killed by this zombie. At this moment, Cindy and her group also appeared on the battlefield. She pointed her gun at me and asked, Who are you? The girl said, Cindy, hold on, he's one of us. Don't shoot. He's a good person. He's the one who saved us. The girl hurriedly rushed over to stop him and looked at Cindy's face. I remembered. Yes, she's Killer Red. In the previous life, she was known as the world's #1 assassin. During the 4th phrase, she once killed a target under the command of a strong figure in the 5th phrase. And she managed to escape unscathed. When I think about it, she also saved me. I blurted out without thinking, You look just like a friend of mine. Cindy realizes that we are all capable individuals. So she had the intention to recruit us. She said, Come back with us. Kelly was not happy about it. I asked if you are the alpha of the camp. She said no, our leader is Sam Lin. I thought to myself, it's Sam Lin again. He actually managed to defeat Killer Red. What is his background? Lucas Gao recalled the Killer Red case in City G, which has been a series of murders in recent years. The victims were all high-ranking officials or wealthy businessmen. There was always a red butterfly mark found near the deceased. Finally, the case was solved by the detective chief named Sam Lin. I thought to myself, Detective Chief. Killer Red. Police. Murder. A bold idea came to my mind. Later, I also accepted Cindy's invitation to go to their campsite and take a look. In the meantime, a nearby organization, because Steve's warehouse was emptied by us. So this trip was fruitless. In order not to be blamed by their alpha, they decided to search the nearest supermarket. Just as they were about to move things, they discovered two people hiding here. The two people are Sherry Luo and her sister. Our group came to the camp to do business. We were mistakenly taken for paratroopers. Sam Lin's subordinates naturally wouldn't have a good expression. In the banquet hall, Sam Lin is entertaining us with VIP treatment. I recognized Sam Lin at first sight. He is the leader of one of the largest survivor bases before the rebirth. His previous life's name is hidden. This makes me not know at all that Sam Lin is his real name. Between greetings, he's probing for information about me. I have evaded all his inquiries one by one. In his description, knowing that we kill zombies like cutting vegetables, he decided to put a patrol team under my command. Alex on the side couldn't help but speak up immediately upon hearing this. The 3 patrol teams are the strongest fighting force in the camp. One of them is in Sam Lin's hands. One is with Cindy. There is another one that Sam Lin promised to give to him. The patrol team is under the control of Gma at the camp, handed over to the newly arrived paratroopers. Alex can't accept it. He immediately said he disagrees. Kelly was upset when she heard Alex disagreeing. I thought it was for a trade. Of course, this won't work. Then he suppressed Kelly's anger. Alex and Adam Wei also left the banquet hall. It looks like we should talk about the deal first. Cindy instructed Lucy, who is the previous girl, to take others out. Let's get to the main topic. I said that we need to equip ammunition, heavy firepower weapons, and sniper rifles. We also brought exchangeable medications, such as antibiotics, cold medicine, bandages, medical alcohol, and more. This way, you won't lose either. Although Cindy immediately showed great eagerness upon hearing this, Sam Lin, the leader of Camp Alpha, said he needed to discuss with the people at the camp. Of course, he wanted to keep us in the camp. On one hand, it can enhance our combat effectiveness. On the other hand, we can obtain the medication by staying. The banquet dispersed. Sam Lin instructed Cindy to provide the highest standard of hospitality and try to satisfy them as much as possible. It's best to make them stay. Sam's base is a tourist attraction in City G. It is said to have been built by a prince during the Ming Dynasty. We were taken to a luxurious large room. Everywhere here is filled with historical artifacts. It is obvious that Sam Lin is intent on winning us over. However, his subordinates Alex and Adam Wei are feeling down. At this moment, they were standing outside the door watching. We are staying in the room that even Sam Lin is reluctant to stay in, while they are outside setting up tents. They decided to teach us a lesson. Alex walked up to me and said, "You are Jaxwell, right? I am Alex. Nice to meet you." Then he reached out his right hand. They shook hands. However, his grip strength of 170 kilograms was a little lacking in front of me, an evolver. Lucas Gao took the opportunity to contemptuously light a cigarette for me. He noticed our actions. Alex has become more popular. His clothes burst open, revealing a body full of muscles, but still good-looking without being practical. Alex thought to himself that this guy's hands are as hard as iron. He can't even squeeze them. At this time, Kelly also came over to join in the fun. "I'm Kelly Luo. Nice to meet you." Then came Alex's heart-wrenching scream. "Ouch, let go of me." Not long after, Adam Wei appeared outside. I saw a big man with tears in his eyes. At the same time, Cindy also warned Adam Wei, "Don't cause trouble for me." Everyone is responsible for their own actions. But Adam Wei simply refuses to listen. The time has come to the next morning. Cindy took us to visit the practice field in the camp. She still wants us to stay. She said you should consider the trade first. Adam Wei is the coach of the practice field. He watched the person we rescued yesterday constantly praising us. Naturally, he felt unhappy. He wanted to drive us away, claiming that the practice field was a campsite secret. Their mediocre kung fu skills. we naturally don't pay attention to them. It's just that this person's behavior is too unbearable. I warned Cindy that this person will harm you sooner or later. It won't be long. Adam Way is getting more and more angry as he thinks about it. He suggested competing with me, but when he saw that I ignored him, he immediately launched an attack. Was stopped by Lucas Gao nearby. He said, "You have to pass me first before you can fight Jack." Adam Way lifted his foot to kick towards Lucas Gao. It's just that the speed was too slow. The foot didn't touch Lucas yet. Then he was kicked away by Lucas Gao. He, who is usually arrogant and domineering on the practice field, has lost face even more this time. He ran to Sam Lin to make a complaint. Sam Lin also knows this person's character well. Sam advised him not to always try to suppress newcomers. And as for you, I understand your temper. Try to take a more relaxed view of things. This also made Adam Way feel resentful. Ran away the next second. Sam Lin came to find us again at night. But I have to go find Abby, so I refused directly. But we still have a common idea. That is, City G has few people and is not conducive to long-term development. In my previous life, I knew he settled in Huabei City. I said that Huabei City is a good place. Most importantly, there is a military region there. There are enough firearms and ammunition to equip a regiment. Then I talked about the trading matter. In fact, the equipment in the camp is very scarce. There are only 2 sniper rifles, in particular. He said if we could help him eliminate the forces of David at the hydroelectric station, he would give it to me for free. In City G, besides him and Steve, there are 3 forces occupying the hydroelectric station led by David. This David is a clever person, but he is a madman and very ruthless when it comes to doing things. He usually engages in robbery and often attacks us. We will continue to develop in City G in the next year. So please help me eliminate David. I also asked for the opinions of Lucas Gao and Kelly. They both unanimously agreed to listen to me. Upon hearing this, Sam Lin immediately became happy. Jack is indeed very straightforward. I said that I refuse. The next second, Sam Lin didn't know what to say. I said, "I don't need to fight with a group of lunatics over a few guns. Let Captain Sam keep them for himself. Early tomorrow morning, a few of us will leave the base." Although Sam Lin seemed a bit disappointed, he still said, "If you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can come to us for help." In the early hours of the morning, a group of people arrived outside Sam's base. It didn't take long for one of his subordinates to report to Sam Lin. Something bad happened. David's group of people has come to launch a surprise attack. At this moment, a fierce gun battle erupted in front of the city gate. A person slowly walked out and asked, "Can Beta take it down in half an hour?" "This person is David," Beta said. It's hard to say. The first wave of attacks took out quite a few of them. The soldiers under Sam Lin are indeed good. It turns out that all of this is due to Adam Way's betrayal. The first wave of attacks was brutal. It's also because of his betrayal that led to this. But later, because Sam Lin's subordinates are all well-trained police officers, they managed to withstand it with force. This made David very angry. He wanted Adam Way to lead a team to attack the south gate. After Adam Way left, David naturally wouldn't trust such a snitch as his confidant. He ordered his subordinates to kill him after he broke through the city gate. Alex opened fire with full force on the south gate. There were heavy casualties among the people charging on David's side. Adam Way wants the sniper to kill this former comrade. At the critical moment, I pushed Alex away. Alex looked at where the bullet was shot, which was aimed at his head. Alex also gratefully thanked me and I said, "Lucas Gao is now in your hands." Lucas explained clearly. The next second, that sniper was shot in the head by Lucas Gao. Kelly also asked with concern, "Big guy, are your hands okay?" Alex, who is not good with words, didn't know what to say at this moment. I asked Alex to lead a group to support Sam Lin. Rest assured and leave it to us to solve. Then Kelly and I swooped down at the North City gate at this moment. Although Sam Lin has the advantage of being impenetrable, he is outnumbered and cannot resist. He has been slowly suppressed by the enemy's firepower. Cindy has been paying close attention to David's movements on the side. He's just very cautious, out of sniper rifle range, and he has been hiding in the car all along. There is simply no way to carry out an assassination. Cindy suggested asking Jack and his team for help, but Sam Lin still cares about his pride. He is not willing to ask me. David is here. At this point, another team was dispatched to support the northern city gate. David's men feel it's a waste of bullets to fight like this. David understands that his men are no match for Sam's men. We can only launch a large-scale attack on the northern gate. Attract their main forces to gather. This way, there will be an opportunity on the south gate side. Wait for David to capture the south gate. With inside and outside coordination, Sam's base will fall into our hands easily. Bullets rained down on the city tower like rain. Sam Lin was completely suppressed. Just at this moment, Alex brought people over to provide support. The situation was instantly reversed. Alex, why are you here? How is the south gate? Jack's what asked me to bring people over to support you. Sam asked. Can just 3 of them handle it? Alex said. Don't worry, Jack is very capable. Below the south city gate, Kelly is currently shooting people. I am moving like a ghost through the crowd. Everyone next to me will become my shield. And Lucas Gao is firing a sniper rifle from the city tower. This is what it means to become an evolver. Our power. Adam Wei saw the situation and hurriedly ran away. However, his actions were noticed by Lucas Gao, who was standing high above. The next second, Kelly excitedly chased after him. I shouted, "Catch him alive!" as I watched Kelly's figure. Her speed has increased significantly again. In no time, Adam Wei was caught up by Kelly. As time flew by, all the sidekicks under the South City gate had been dealt with. Adam Wei was also hung by Kelly on the streetlight pole. He said you brought that guy named David here, right? Also told them about the defense situation at Sam's base. I hate traitors the most, said Adam. Do you even know how much I've sacrificed for this base? You guys just want to step on me as soon as you arrive. What I can't get, you won't get either. He was dragged back by us like a dead dog. All of this was seen by the detective's sidekick. Unfortunately, when Lucas Gao noticed, the shot he fired missed slightly. The sidekick fled. Returning to the north gate, both sides had expended a significant amount in this battle. At this moment, a temporary ceasefire has been called for negotiations to begin. Everyone is hurling insults at each other. Actually, David is waiting for the moment when the south gate is breached. David asked if there was any news on the other side of the south gate. Psychic said, I have already sent someone over to check. They should be returning soon. David said, we win once the south gate is broken. Unfortunately, David's wishful thinking fell through. At this moment, my voice rang out. David, right? You don't have to wait anymore. Your group of henchmen has been taken care of. David couldn't believe it. Sam was also very surprised. I said the situation at the south gate has been handled. Then I also pulled Adam Wei out. Does David know this person? Adam shouted. David, help me! Adam Wei was desperately shouting for David to save him from the watchtower. Cindy is puzzled. I said, isn't this obvious enough? Adam Wei betrayed us. Cindy angrily pointed a gun at him. But Adam Wei showed no remorse. The next second, there was a gunshot. Adam Wei slowly fell down. The one who fired the gun was David. Such behavior seems like madness to us. And a clever one at that. He probably has a backup plan. But now the most important thing is to see if there are any developments in the city. Immediately, Sam Lin instructed Cindy to do as I say. At the same time, Sam Lin also spoke to David. Your people at the South Gate have all been taken care of by us. Aren't you going to retreat? David said I am still in the dominant position. Following that, David's men appeared with a group of people. David said, here are some of your former subordinates, some of your colleagues, and also some ordinary people. How are you feeling to see them? Are you happy? Most of these people know Sam Lin. I was stunned when I saw them. Sherry Luo and her two sisters are also in the crowd. How could they be here? At this moment, Sherry Luo and her two sisters also noticed me. They shouted my name. Jaxua. David thought these two people were useless, but they actually know the people on the city tower. David chuckled and said, it seems I brought the right hostages. Sam Lin, don't you always think you are a good person? You are such a fool. In today's world, having guns, food, and people are the most important factors. Then he shot and killed one of the hostages. David even joked that he couldn't even save his own brother. What kind of good guy is he pretending to be? Sam shouted, David Long, I'm not finished with you. And when I heard this name, I should have realized earlier that in a previous life, I opposed the captain. The only one surnamed Long is that abnormal David. David Long is his name. This abnormal person once triggered a large-scale wave of millions of households in order to capture someone else's base. After this incident, it attracted various forces to chase him. He finally went into hiding. Absolutely cannot let Sherry Luo and the others fall into the hands of this abnormal person. Thinking of this, I then called out to prepare for battle. Captain Sam covers me. At this moment, Sam Lin also realizes the seriousness of the situation. But he cannot act impulsively. Before he could finish his sentence, Kelly and I jumped off the city wall in front of everyone. In the eyes of Sam Lin and David Long, one is worried about my safety, and the other is excited to catch me alive. At the moment of landing, the charging sidekick was instantly dealt with by me. I shouted, Kelly, don't linger in the battle, save people first. At this moment, David Long also found out. The assault team at the South Gate was annihilated by the person in front of them. Feeling something was wrong, he decisively ordered everyone to evacuate with the hostages. Although the sidekick is not our opponent. But there are just too many sidekicks. Kelly and I are entangled and couldn't break free to save others. I could only shout Lucas Gao's name. The next moment, a loud bang. A burly man holding Carrie Luo spun 720 degrees after being shot by a bullet. I also managed to save her. When I tried to rush to save Sherry Luo again, the other party started a crazy barrage. I could only do a few backflips to dodge the bullets coming at me. I watched helplessly as Sherry Luo and the other hostages were taken away. In David Long's eyes at this moment, all he sees is the figure of me fighting. He just feels that I am a very interesting person. He said, David let that kid go just like that. He's getting off too easily. David said, you know what he will find himself. Carrie Luo has been looking unhappy in this city, concerned about the safety of older sister Sherry Luo. At this time, Kelly also brought something in for her to eat. Just misinterpreted that the person I was looking for at Star Female School was Kelly. So Carrie got jealous. But Kelly is very sociable. She unceremoniously started eating the food prepared for Carrie Luo. Carrie Luo felt even more wrong by being bullied. He yelled, I want to see my big brother! At this moment, I also appeared at the doorway. She rushed towards me as if she had found her backbone. I am curious if it was me who sent you to find Lucas Gao. How did you end up here? Carrie said it was actually because Sherry Luo said you already have someone you like. She didn't want to cause you trouble, so she didn't go. Later, they drove to the convenience store in City G to hide. Unexpectedly, they encountered bad people who caught them. So that's how it happened. Be obedient and listen well. Eating well is beneficial for your health. Big Brother will definitely help you find your older sister back. Carrie Luo obediently responded with an "Okay," I said to Kelly. "You come with me to rescue the person." Kelly comforted Carrie Luo for a bit. Carrie Luo got jealous again. "Pretend to look pitiful," Kelly said. "Don't you just want Jack to save your older sister?" Carrie said. "I don't." At the same time, Carrie also asked what she wanted to know. "Did your older brother go to the girls' school to save you? You are your older brother's sweetheart, right?" Kelly asked. "Are you jealous?" Carrie said. "I'm not." Kelly said. "I'm not." Suddenly, Kelly's eyes dimmed. She said, "Jack's sweetheart is not me. Don't worry. We will definitely help you save your older sister." Carrie, who learned about this, still thanked Kelly. We are conducting pre-battle analysis on the way. David Long is not like Steve. Clearly his strength and overall quality are much stronger. It shouldn't be a big problem to save someone. We need to kill David Long. It's not feasible with just a few of us. We can only wait. Lucas Gao and Kelly asked. "Wait for what?" Sam Lin drove after us from behind. He is also a smart person. Naturally know what to do. Sam Lin understood that his intentions were seen through. He didn't say much. Open the trunk. He took out a sniper rifle with a small base and gave it to Lucas Gao. He said it was to thank us for helping the base break the siege. This time he brought Alex, the strongest firepower expert, and Cindy, the one with the strongest abilities, out. He's going to join us in rescuing people. Just when everything seemed to be going smoothly, they heard my voice. Lucas Gao handed the gun back to Captain Sam. The other 5 of us were immediately confused. Lucas Gao could only hand back the gun with tears in his heart. Then I continued speaking. If it's about saving someone, the 3 of us are enough. I don't like owing favors to others. That means if Captain Sam trusts me, as Jack Zwa, just draw out all of their elites. We can kill them all at once. Upon hearing this, Sam Lin was instantly stunned. On the other side, in David Long's base, 3 people were seated in the meeting room, arguing fiercely about the failed operation. In addition to Beta, who led the attack on Sam's base before, there are also Gma and Delta here. The next second, David Long appeared in the projection. The 3 immediately fell silent. It's evident how strong David Long's control is within this base. He just brushes off failures as if they are nothing. Let Gma and Delta leave first. Only Beta remains. Beta is worried that letting them go this way might make them feel resentful. David Long mentioned that the base only needs smart people. Sam Lin will come to rescue people tonight. The kid who is very good at fighting will also come. I naturally have a way to deal with it. Just do as I say. After a while, David Long began to question Sherry Luo, who had just woken up. I wasn't interested in you at first. But the boy on the city tower seems very interested in you. Sherry said. You mean Jack Zwa? David said. Oh, so his name is Jack Zwa. Are you very familiar with him? Sherry said. I don't need to answer your question. Then David Long pulled out a child and said, I think if you answer my question, you will save a life. It makes sense, right? Sherry said. Madman, what are you doing? What are you charging at me for? Don't involve innocent people, she said. Sherry Luo, I not only want to involve innocent people, but also use them to threaten you. The TV screen suddenly switched to the people who were previously held hostage with him. There are exactly 3 buckets of hydrofluoric acid on their heads. David said it is also known as body-dissolving water. As long as I pressed the button lightly. Sherry Luo couldn't help but call him a pervert directly. David Long just smiled slightly and said thank you for the compliment. He asked, Can you answer my question now? Sherry said. What would you like to know? David said. It's simple. You just need to tell me how Jaxwa got his superpowers. At this time, Sherry Lou replied to David Long. What superpower? David said. Jaxwa said. The three of them can easily take down a whole team of mine. Do you think they are ordinary people? Ordinary people could not have such strength and reaction speed. Even special forces would not be able to. Sherry Lewis said. I don't know what superpowers, and Jaxwa won't be tricked by you. David said. As long as it is a person, there must be weaknesses, just like you, right? Since you don't know, let's play something else. Outside the door is a maze designed by me. Go out, and I will give you a big reward. On the contrary, if you don't go out, you will face serious punishment. Also, I was very dissatisfied with your previous answer. Then David Long pressed the button. 3 barrels of corpse-dissolving fluid were immediately poured onto the people below. The television emitted a shrill scream. Watching this abnormal behavior, Sherry Luo could only agree to play the maze he had designed. On the other side, we are studying the topography of the hydroelectric power station on the mountain. According to Sam Lin, they are doing this because they were afraid that David might open the floodgates back then. So it has not been dealt with all this time, giving him the opportunity to expand. I didn't expect that we would still need to take this step now. Next, I will assign the task to Lucas Gao to observe the control room. If someone comes over to shut down the switch, immediately shoot to kill. Captain Sam, make some movement on your end to create a distraction for me to sneak in. Cindy is responsible for leading the way. Kelly and I are entering the station. Remember, everyone, rescue the people first. Only engage in guerrilla warfare before rescuing the hostages. Exhaust their strength. At the same time, David Long also found Sam Lin's group. He then ordered the start of the battle. A group of people and horses appeared beside Sam Lin. Both sides started to exchange fire. Sam Lin fought back while retreating. They entered the forest. On my side, I climbed a rope from the air to arrive in front of a door with the words, "Welcome," written on it. It seems that David Long already knew we were coming. Feel free to ask if you have more text to translate. He deliberately mocked us here. I kicked open the door. We entered a wide corridor. Then the sound of David Long's voice, Jaxwa, came immediately. I knew you would come since you are here. Let's play a game. The game is very simple. Before he could finish speaking, I interrupted him and said, either release the person or wait to die. He was about to speak nonsense. I smashed the surveillance with a stick. Let's wait and see, David Long. Several monitoring cameras were all smashed. David Long was also angry. He ordered his subordinates to open Gate 1. His subordinates asked in surprise, Gate 1? Looking at David Long with murderous eyes. The subordinates can only follow orders. We are speechless about the sudden appearance of Hamster. I asked Kelly if it was her who brought him here. Kelly said no, he followed on his own. The role of Hamster. It's to indicate that the zombie virus is nearby. Sure enough, Hamster started squeaking. Meanwhile, Kelly and I also feel that we are surrounded by a zombie herd. Only Cindy looks confused. Neither of them are good at fighting in the dark. I suggested we split up for now. You go rescue the hostages. I will deal with the zombie herd. The next moment, I took a deep breath and opened the elevator door with my bare hands. Let them go up from here. At the same time, numerous figures appeared in the darkness. I started warming up, preparing for battle. Shortly after, in the control room, David Long, who can kill zombies with his eyes closed, has already reached the 3rd floor where I am. He not only felt no fear, and he felt excited that he had guessed right after all. This was definitely not something an ordinary person could achieve. He then instructed his men to release a batch of zombies every 2 minutes. He said he didn't believe this kid wouldn't get tired. At the same time, he also contacted Beta via walkie-talkie. He asked him to quickly obtain control permissions for Building 2 over there. The control permissions for Building 2 are in Gma's hands. At this moment, he is still playing with the prostitute. Beta said Gma is so interested. Gma roared, "Didn't you see I was busy?" When he turned around, he saw a dark gun barrel pointed at him. Beta pulled the trigger. After a gunshot sounded, Beta obtained the controller on the second floor. Hastily rushed back to David Long's side, watching the continuous appearance of the zombie herd. I also understand David Long's intention. It is to consume my stamina. But what he doesn't know is that after becoming an evolver, stamina is terrifyingly abundant like the depths of the sea. This is when Hamster appeared and took away my handgun. I immediately followed after. I then saw a brand new motorcycle in this white corridor. Riding the motorcycle, the zombie seemed to crash into my crowbar on its own. Singing loudly all the way, David became angrier as he watched the surveillance footage. This motorcycle is his beloved Yamaha R6. He could only vent his anger on Sherry Luo. At this moment, Sherry Luo has passed the first level of the maze and her clothes are tattered. It can be imagined how difficult it is for her. However, David Long has no intention of letting her go. In the next second, the floor opened. Sherry Luo fell into a cage. There are many other people being imprisoned here besides her. And below them is a densely packed zombie herd. The bad guys might like this. David Long wants Sherry Luo to answer 20 questions. Answering all the questions correctly can release everyone here. Answering incorrectly means facing the zombies below. The answers to the questions are all set by David Long himself. After answering the first question, "Do you like to eat oranges?" Then one person was put down, although he was given an axe. But for an ordinary person facing a zombie herd alone, it's like being zombie food. This game fully reflects David Long's madness. He enjoys seeing the desperate and helpless look in others' eyes. At this time, the surveillance also showed Cindy and Kelly's footage. David Long was surprised how they unconsciously got to the second building. Just at the same time, Beta also sent the controller of Building 2. With this, David Long doesn't believe that they can't be beaten. At this moment, there are 10 psychics stationed outside Building 2. Cindy has come up with a solution. It's the beauty trap. Kelly looks quite eye-catching after dressing up. The sidekicks are drooling. I was at the window watching all of this. I also inquired about everyone's situation. It's a bit tough for Sam Lin over there, but it can still be delayed for a period of time. There is no situation on Lucas Gala's side. Just all the people from the other exit on the other side have been withdrawn, because the view is blocked by the woods. Also, it's not known where they have been withdrawn to. Everyone can only enter, not exit. In other words, the hostages are still in these buildings. Searching room by room is too slow. Let's capture someone alive first and ask some questions. At this moment, Kelly is being taken to see the goldfish by 2 sidekicks. Cindy also took the opportunity to sneak around behind the enemy. Just as everything was proceeding as planned, a sidekick's walkie-talkie received a message about enemy intrusion. The enemies are 2 women and 1 man. Upon hearing this, Kelly stopped pretending, raised her gun, and held the 2 of them hostage. A sidekick explained that they were unable to hold their ground here and could not report back to David, prepared to kill Kelly and the other 2 teammates. But he didn't expect it. The next second, he was controlled by Cindy from behind. He was still shouting to his teammates not to shoot. His teammates were also preparing to kill him and Cindy. This is the ragtag group under David. Just as both sides were about to open fire, I drove the Yamaha R6 crashing out of the broken window. Keep pulling the trigger in the air. Every time I pull, a psychic falls to the ground. Cindy and Kelly are also impressed by my stunning entrance. I said, "Are you guys okay?" 3 sidekicks are under our control at this moment. I am following the principle of killing first before asking questions. Bang bang. 2 shots took out 2 sidekicks. Only the one who appears to be the team leader remains. Ask 3 questions. Where is David Long, and where are the hostages? Where are the other guards? Also, threaten him to either talk or die. All of this falls under the watchful eye of David Long, who ordered Beta to release the group of monsters locked in Building 2 immediately. He wants to see who is more powerful, Superman or the monsters. One of his henchmen, by his side, requested David Long not to release these monsters because of capturing these monsters. More than 20 brothers have already died. His own younger brother also died in that operation. It's just that David Long is a pervert. He hates it when others go against his will. He killed his henchman the next second and returned to my side, according to the sidekick. David Long is not in the hydroelectric plant at all. He is at the observatory on the mountaintop. The hostages are in the basement of Building 3. As for the guards, they have pretty much been reassigned. They said they were going to take out the tiger in its den directly. Feeling uneasy, I immediately contacted Sam Lin. However, I couldn't get through to him no matter what. So, I called Kelly and asked both of them to go over and help. I will then threaten the psychic to lead the way to find the hostages. According to the psychic's description, the basement of Building 2 and the rooftop of Building 3 are both guarded by zombies raised by David Long. Buildings 2 and 3 are connected, but at the start of the battle, all other entrances are blocked. Now there is only one way to go. At this moment, the image of David Long appeared on the monitor, along with footage of Sherry Luo, who is being held captive. I know that saving people is the priority. I didn't waste time talking to him. I shot the screen with 1 bullet and continued to let the psychic lead the way. But this time, there was no response no matter how many times I called. He slowly walked out from the darkness. Veins bulging on his face, he turned into a zombie. The next second, he lunged towards me with considerable strength. According to the rules, a newly turned zombie is called a first-phase zombie. There's no way such power exists. Just as I pulled both hands together, my fist smashed him to the ground. I saw something on his back. It's a manipulator zombie. The second phase zombie mutant is extremely rare. It is good at concealment. It can escape the detection of most evolvers. Can parasitize prey for a short period and control it. Manipulator zombie greatly enhances the host's strength, but its main body is very weak. Manipulator zombie hit a hard stub. He hurried to escape. I caught him with 1 hand and crushed him like an ant. David Long's image in my heart. From pervert to big pervert. Dare to raise this manipulator zombie thing. In the dark corridor. Meeting this thing is not a good thing. I randomly activated the sense mode. As evolved continues to increase. Now the range is larger. And you can also move while in sense. Manipulator zombie can escape the intuitive sense of the evolver. But it cannot escape direct sense scans. The next second, I sense the lightning-fast figure beside me. As long as I defend against their sneak attacks, manipulator zombie is not to be feared. Unfortunately, I underestimated David Long's abnormality. With a loud bang, a group of second-phase zombies appear in front of me. And they are parasitized as well. The second-phase zombies possessed by manipulator zombies. Not only their combat power is greatly enhanced, but they will also undergo different levels of mutation. Upon seeing a living person, they immediately launch an attack at me. After dodging a punch from one of them, I leaped high into the air and delivered a powerful punch, smashing the head of the manipulator zombie on its back. The manipulator zombie died. The host that was parasitized will also die. But I did not have a chance to catch my breath. Another zombie attacked from the side and sent me flying with a punch. Even as I got closer to second phase's body, blood slowly overflowed from my mouth. Just as I locked onto the next target, The target zombie suddenly roared. The skeleton started to change rapidly. Oh no, because I knew he was going to mutate. Looking at the constant bulging of his right hand, things like hammer fist can also cause trouble for me. I'm really unlucky. At this moment, watching what is happening here in the monitoring room, David Long is extremely excited. He then communicates through the broadcast. He suggests that if he can eliminate the zombies here, he will be told the whereabouts of the hostages as a game reward. People like David Long always think they are in control of everything. What he doesn't know is that there are things beyond his understanding. Since you want to, then I will play with you. After a tough battle. In front of me, only this one remains. Fusing with Manipulator Zombie to become second phrase Hammer Fist Zombie. But this guy does become quite powerful after the upgrade. Under my full-on firepower attack, he unexpectedly did not dodge or evade and was completely unharmed, while I have to carefully deal with his immensely powerful counterattacks every time. Hammer Fist is really difficult to deal with. After second phrase Zombie merges with Manipulator Zombie, defense and strength increase dramatically. The arms transform into hammer fists. Combat power is much stronger than Loner Zombie. At this time, the voice of Lucas Gao asking came. He saw that I had entered for a long time and wanted to know my situation inside. But just as I was absent-minded in my response, I was hit with a fierce blow from the hammer fist of the werewolf. The wall couldn't withstand such force either. I was sent flying out with Lucas Gao. At this moment, he was also surprised and asked, "Jack, I saw you got hit and sent flying. Are you okay?" I don't have time to explain now. I will tell you the plan. Go do it immediately. At the same time, in the monitoring room, Beta was amazed that the monster was so powerful, but David Long was indifferent, because he had an even more powerful meteorite fragment in his hands. Those who have come into contact with this thing either died or turned into monsters. David Long knows their location has been exposed. There's not much point in staying here any longer. He decides to go find Sherry Luo. It's always safer to keep the hostage by your side. At this time, in the basement, another person is dropped down as zombie food for answering the question incorrectly. Everyone is on the verge of collapsing in this atmosphere. Sherry Luo, possessed by the priest, comforts everyone's emotions. At this time, David Long's voice as Sherry Luo was also heard. Let's play something exciting. If you answer the last question correctly, I'll spare you, otherwise you're dead. Sherry Luo has no other choice now. She can only do as David Long instructed. David Long's question is, "Where are you now?" For options, A. Building 1B, Building 2C, Building 3D, none of the above. Sherry Luo figured it out. David Long won't let her off so easily, so she decisively chose D. David said, "You're so clever, you're not even in our main building." Sherry replied, "Then I answered correctly, let him go." David said, "Who said you answered correctly? I asked where you were right now." Sherry replied, "You're trying to play dumb." David said, "Really? I don't feel that way because you are still in my hands." Sherry Luo. The other me told Lucas Gao about my plan, but Lucas Gao looked puzzled. Luckily, Sam Lin also responded. The arrival of Kelly and Cindy resolved the problem on his end. I'm relieved that Sam Lin is here. Immediately instruct Kelly and Cindy to follow Captain Sam's orders. They are not very happy. Once everything is arranged properly, I can deal with the person in front of me with peace of mind. Sam Lin also explains my plan. The crowd surrounds the observatory. Kelly and Lucas Gao enter the observatory to rescue the hostages. If David Long is there, eliminate him directly. If he is not there, they will definitely retreat to another place, and they will lie in ambush at the foot of the mountain with their own people. I also took the call under my supervision. The entire Building 3 is empty. The hostages are in the observatory. This kind of sense is very mentally exhausting. Can't use it too much. Why did Captain Sam David Long lead us here? And yet, there are so few guards. He wants to trick us out of the base. Lucas Gao, you go and meet up with Kelly. Make some noise when attacking the observatory. The mutant in front of you is a hammer fist. My first phrase alone is not enough to kill him. I must break through the second phrase. Don't worry about that. You just listen to Captain Sam. I can handle it here. My body is at the critical point between the first phrase and second phrase. Intense battles help with evolution. David Long's side only has so few guards. Can't withstand Kelly and Lucas Gao at all. He is just playing a bigger game. Since Sam Lin brought the elite over. That's a perfect opportunity to ambush Sam's base. And his confidence is the countless zombies outside the observatory, acting as guards. At this moment, I have been fighting with this second phrase hammer fist zombie for almost an hour. I can clearly feel it now. My physical ability has reached the limit of the first phrase. Just a little bit more. At the same time, Lucas Gao seems to have found the location of the hostage. It's in a warehouse to the north of me. There is also someone guarding nearby. I was stunned for a moment, and then knocked away by hammer fist. It seems this guy has fully integrated with Manipulator Zombie. In terms of strength alone, this thing has reached the peak of second phrase. In that case, I can only unleash Evolve Tattoo to attempt evolution in battle. I leaped high to dodge the blow from hammer fist coming at me. In the air, I focused my mind and composed myself. Suddenly, a dazzling light shone in the darkness of the night. The light dispersed, and my whole body was surrounded by a red aura. But I also felt the breakthrough of the second phase. Things always seem to be so troublesome. I effortlessly caught the previously unstoppable hammer fist as it transitioned into the second phrase. Shortly after, the virus was triggered. It will not pose a significant burden on the body. So in the second phrase, humans can easily defeat almost all zombies of the third phrase and below. Immediately, I threw a punch. The hammer fist was sent flying by me. It crashed through several big trees before finally coming to a stop. I walked slowly towards him. His right hand was slowly covered by the flames of cyber texture. Balance Evolver's new ability, Body Enhancement. In the next second, I will attack with hammer fist. With the increase in strength and speed, he was killed by me before he could react. This scared David Long silly. He said, "How is this possible?" He looked at the screen and glanced back at me, who was watching the surveillance footage. He felt fear for the first time in his life. He hurriedly called his subordinates to bring everyone back. But everyone went to Sam's base. Only as many as possible can be called, so that he can feel a little more at ease. At this time, Sam Lin lurking at the foot of the mountain has also completed the mission. Beta completely does not understand. Sam Lin knows how they plan. But Beta is still devoted to David Long. Even at the point of death, they did not reveal David Long's whereabouts. They even mocked Cindy, the famous assassin, Killer Red. Now he could only be at the mercy of others. David Long was already scared and did not know what to do. He ordered his subordinates to release the remaining zombies and monsters. He, who usually kills without any emotional fluctuations,